to the neck portion of your workout, you can go ahead and clock out, head home, and hug your dad for the first time in your whole life.
There's Joe List, who is back in town, on stage, at Hilarities. How old is that?
That clip?
How deep did I go for that?
Not that far. That was like, that was March of 2018, I think.
Wow,
so
you got month and year.
A year and a half ago. What's that?
I said you nailed the month and the year.
Yeah, well, that was Tonight Show, so it was memorable. Yeah,
all right.
And it was right before my Netflix special came out that nobody watched.
Oh, that was Fallon then.
That was Fallon, yeah.
Okay, I forget how long ago it was that Conan was doing the Tonight Show for that cup of coffee there.
Oh, yeah, that was a while.
coming up.
That was
Yeah, people
like,
forget.
I think almost like 10 years ago now.
I think you're right.
Yeah, it's been a while now.
09-ish or something like that.
Joe is at Hilarities tonight for a 7 o'clock show, and then 7 and 9:30 tomorrow and Saturday. And I always forget how tall you are.
Yeah, people say, I think I have a short person's voice or disposition or something, because people always come up to me and say, I didn't realize you were tall. And then I say, I'm wearing lifts, and that always gets a laugh, and it feels good.
Yeah.
It's nice to have a nice stock line ready.
Sure.
But I had a woman yell out to me in Des Moines, and she was like, how tall are you? And I was like, I don't know, 6'2". She's like, you look tall. And I was like, I'm on stage.
Right.
So I am elevated
Yeah.
right now. And then I asked her how much she weighed, and she didn't answer.
You know, it's the double
You look
standard that
big from
people
here.
frown on.
heavy.
Yeah, but because people are on stage, obviously, I always kind of think that people are taller, so I'm usually less surprised when someone is of normal height.
Right.
You know, and then you meet them and you go, oh, wow, yeah, they're, you know.
Yeah, I thought that a few times. Like Eddie, I'm a big Pearl Jam guy.
Sure.
Like Eddie Vedder is like 5'9",
Very
or
short.
something, but he has that
Yeah.
like booming voice, and he's climbing stuff,
Well,
and he
the
looks
other
like a
side
guy.
of that is Billy Corgan is like 6'4".
Yeah, he's a
And
big
so
dude.
I saw him walking out. I did like Rock on the Range all these years ago, and they were headlining, and I saw him walk by, and I was like, "Holy crap, that guy's a monster!"
That's why when he used to
also
do
was
that-
like all fat at that time. Too.
Yeah, when he used to wear like that one-piece leather Uncle Fester thing,
That's
and
Yeah.
really
yeah.
he's doing
Yeah.
Adam's Family cosplay on the
Not a
Pumpkin
great
Store.
look.
Yeah, for a while he had a look. He wore the silver leather pants and the zero shirt.
Yes.
For like years.
Yeah.
Straight, the shaved head, the whole thing.
Yeah. Were you ever? Are you musically inclined? Do you play anything?
I just started taking mandolin lessons, ladies.
We just were talking about the mandolin the other day.
Yeah, I'm a big mandolin guy.
I don't know how it came up, but how did the mandolin come? I don't. It's in the lute family or something. But isn't it just a steel-strung ukulele or something? I mean,
It's similar to ukulele. It's
Yeah.
it's 8 strings, but it's double string. So essentially, it's
Yep.
4 strings. And I don't know what it. I should know some of the history about it. I think it's Italian or something
what
like that.
drew you to that?
Well, I thought I always wanted to learn an instrument, and I thought that's smaller than a guitar, and I thought it'd be easier because it's essentially 4 strings.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's small, so I can just bring it with me. And my idea was I have all this time to kill on the road,
Right.
but I've never brought it on the road once because
Just
I don't want
sitting in
to
your
check.
apartment.
I don't want to check a bag, so I already have a carry-on and a backpack. But I do play. I took lessons for a while.
Really?
Yeah, it was nice. I have a teacher, Conchetta.
Did you become proficient at all in it? I mean, are you?
No, I mean I'm like I can play a few. I can play "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." I nailed "The Wild Rover." There's a few songs I learned. I learned a little bit how to read music, so moderately.
Are you Irish?
I'm of Irish descent.
I was going to say that
father's-
might be part of it. Like
Yeah.
subconsciously, maybe it was back in there. or
Yeah,
something.
I like Celtic music, and
Yeah.
I like the idea of like jumping up and be like da 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 dee da da da.
Yeah,
Like one
right.
of those guys.
Uh-huh.
It always seems fun playing an
Yeah.
instrument, and like a piano's big, and a guitar everyone play. I don't want to be a hack for God's sakes.
Yeah, I'm a drummer, and it was always when I would. I love playing the drums, but when I would play with bands, I was the last guy there when everybody else packed up their crap and was getting laid. You know, I'm
Right.
like tearing down my stands and putting my crap in my car, and you know.
Yeah, drums is the funnest to me. Like I can somewhat keep a beat thing
Yeah.
and do a little roll and come back to. Like I have some. I'm
You got some
more,
rhythm.
Yeah, I'm more musically inclined than the average person,
Sure.
but not. I'm not a musician.
Yeah,
I stink.
You a Boston guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, and is the family still there?
Yeah. I just spent a week with them. It
Oh,
was-
were you with Thanksgiving? You went home?
Yeah.
Yeah. How was it?
It was okay.
Really?
No, it's fine. It was fun. There's just like a lot of. I quit drinking a while ago, and they all
Okay.
still booze, and it's loud, and
Oh.
everyone just yells over each other. And when I was drinking, I was like, my family's the best.
Yeah.
And then when you're not drinking, you're just like, why is everyone shouting? I hate this.
Right. Is it you have a big family?
Extended family. Like, I have one sister, but then like my mother has 5 siblings, and then they all have,
they all
they
came
have
out.
kids, and then they all have kids. So now there's
Okay.
like 40 people there.
Are they all in that area? Like, are you the outlaw? Like, I'm the. My
Oh, yeah.
family's all in Chicago, And I've been gone doing this and other things for a long time. So I don't get home that often, and we decided to go home this Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see everybody, but I always feel like I'm a tourist in my own family.
Yeah, completely.
It's
I
weird.
feel, yeah. This is going to turn into a therapy session, but yeah, I feel completely distant from them, and
Yeah.
I'm like, it feels like that thing of like, how did I come from that? We feel so different from each other because I've been gone for 13 years, and most of the things they say, I'm like, that doesn't sound right at all.
You're like, how did I come out of this family?
Yeah, even
right.
like little things.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about, we're a big sports family. This isn't sports radio. You guys were talking sports right
Yeah,
before.
sure,
It's
yeah.
on my mind. I was
Do
like, let's talk
everything.
about
Well,
sports.
we call this race radio.
Great. Oh, okay.
Just a bunch of white guys talking about race. It's
Yeah.
great. Yeah, it's a
We
new format.
hate every other race, my family. No, that's a
If it
joke.
ain't white, it ain't right.
No, but we were talking about Tony Romo was doing color commentary, and my family was like, "Oh, he was the worst quarterback. He sucked." And I was like, "I think he was pretty good."
Yeah.
And then they're like, "You're wrong. He's a bum. He's like the worst quarterback." And so I had to like some of these things. There are statistics.
Yeah.
I was going to say, they were yelling this out just randomly, or they attributed that to something. Like they had some conspiracy theory about Tony Romo.
We started talking about him as a color commentator, who
Yeah.
I like. I think he's good,
Yeah.
and they hate him. And then they were like, "He sucked." So what does he know about football? Which, first of all, I'm like,
I
even if you
see.
suck, you're still on the team.
He
Where-
like threw the most touchdowns. Like
Yeah.
he set a bunch of records for the Cowboys. Now he
Yeah.
didn't win anything.
Yes.
So I guess when you look at that, like he didn't really do well in the playoffs. He wasn't really like known as a clutch guy, but he like that doesn't make him suck. That just means he had some inopportune moments, and then he got injured.
Right, and there's no, my family doesn't have that thing where they're like, I guess you're right.
Yeah, yeah.
He does have the highest quarterback passing rating of any quarterback in the time he was playing.
They'll die on their hill.
Yeah, they're like, nope, incorrect.
Yeah.
Right.
But
But the familial thing is one thing, but it's also compounded by what you do for a living,
Right.
which feels weird too. Like my family has always like been interested in what's going on, but like nobody understands what you do for a living. You know what I mean?
Yes, completely.
Yeah.
You know, you're really scratching my.
Well, you know what I
my
mean.
butthole here.
It is
Yeah.
like that. It's kind of like so you go back home. And then you're kind of like just making polite conversation with people that you grew up with.
Right.
And yeah, it's just kind of odd.
Yeah, it's tricky. I feel like I'm not being funny, but I'm getting a lot out of this. I don't know if I'm selling any tickets here. I have jokes, but no, this
It doesn't. I'm not doing setup punch here. So
Great,
it's-
I
yeah, don't worry
appreciate
about
that
it.
because
Yeah.
this is really making me feel not alone in the world, which is
Oh no, by no means.
that's what I'm really trying to do
What
out here.
Alan's
is to
really trying to
connect.
do is invite you to Thanksgiving next year at his place.
You're on the list, pal.
We'd be happy to come out. I
We'll do
appreciate
it.
that. But no, my family's good people. I don't want them to hear this and then shoot me.
Joe List is doing Hilarities tonight, and then 2 shows tomorrow night and Saturday. You go to pickwickandfrolic.com. He's Joe List Comedy on Twitter and Instagram. Tuesdays with Stories.
Yeah, that's
is
the
still
podcast, yeah.
you and Mark Norman.
Yeah. It's a good listen. I feel like there's probably crossover with your audience. I was on Good Morning Cleveland and she was plugging it, and I was like, I feel like there's not a lot of
Natalie Herbeck.
crossover between.
Oh, I saw her last night when I went to see Mean Girls. They had like the press screening yesterday, and Natalie Herbeck is fantastic, and she's got
lovely.
one of the most legendary interviews with Mark.
Yeah.
who we do the podcast with, and it's absolutely hysterical.
Yeah, I think it's like viral. I mean, I don't know what viral is, but it's got like 350,000 views. So it was a lot
Yeah.
of pressure to live up to it. I
Yeah.
felt like I had to
Whip
throw
it
some
out or something.
obscenities out there. Yeah, punch her or something. But I think it went well. It was
punch
good. But I did threaten to choke her out. I've been taking MMA, so I want to just choke people out these days.
Yeah.
But she
I'm
wasn't
gonna choke
interested.
you out, or I'm gonna play a mandolin, and I don't got my mandolin.
Yeah.
Well, I take MMA and mandolin, and they're across the street from each other. Just ironically, they just happen to both be.
Yeah.
So I think I may be the only guy to take a mandolin lesson and then go to MMA.
Well, you get to work on both sides of your brain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The finer arts of music, and then the more brutal art of mixed martial arts.
And in a lot of ways, they're similar. I don't want to get too deep here, but
Yeah.
What's that first MMA class like? Because this isn't something that, a lot of people get started in that field when they're very young.
Yeah.
So that's got to be pretty intimidating. That's like I went to a yoga class, and I'm like, this is very strange. I'm 30-something years old, and I'm like, I don't fit in, so I got to like goof my way through it.
Right. It's similar to yoga. There's a lot of similar things, except it ends with you getting choked unconscious. Instead of being like, namaste, you're like, okay, I quit.
Namaste down.
But no, it's fun. I mean, the first one, I just got tuned up. Like there's what's nice is there's no expectations of maybe I could handle it. Like I'm fighting a black belt undefeated champion fighter. So he wins for the most part.
Right.
But I'm learning some things. This is why I was joking earlier. I could beat someone up if they fully cooperated with me. That's the level I'm at. Like, if they wanted to fight me and I was like, could you turn your back to me and not resist anything I do? I would beat that person.
And they'd have to leave every door open for you to get in there and do some damage.
They'd have to stand with their arms spread and their back to me.
But, like, I never took karate or anything as a kid, but, like, friends of mine that would do that, or, like, you're talking about MMA, I would think that, or boxing or whatever, I would think that part of learning that is learning how to get the crap beat out of you.
Yeah, I think that's
learning to lose. And I wrestled in high school and college, but that was the closest I ever got to anything like that, and I lost a lot for a while.
Yeah, that's like a big part of it, is to not freak out and panic.
Yeah.
To kind of like a lot of times he'll have me in like some crazy leg lock and be like, "You're not breathing. Make sure you're breathing."
Yeah.
And then I start
Keep
breathing.
your bearings.
And then he
yeah.
breaks my leg off. But I tap
Here's
early
your
and
foot
often.
back.
I'm a big tapper.
Yeah.
Sometimes I tap just to, he'll look at me weird, and I'll be like, you know what? I think I'm done with this session. But
So was it I guess. I was curious what led you to the mandolin. What led you to MMA? Like, you're like, I don't want people looking at me and thinking I'm one thing. I want to be another.
Well, I mean, a little bit, but I mean, I just have so much. My life's been so riddled with anxiety, and I realize like such a huge part of my anxiety is fear of any kind of physical confrontation. So like, I was like, first of all, I have a little bit of time and money now, also. So I'm like, let me fill this time, and get rid of this money. But but also, it's just I've always been fascinated with the kind of people that just look like regular people, and they're like, that, don't make no mistake, that guy could destroy you or whatever. And I like the idea of that, and having an amount of confidence if I was in some kind of confrontation,
like in stealth mode. Nobody would see it coming from you.
Yeah, that idea of like, I'll be all right. Yeah. Where I feel like now, that's something you learn in your first class at MMA. I've always felt like I'm a man. I have a wife. I can protect her. I'm from Boston. I'm and then I go to fight him, and I'm like, oh no,
I'm a scarecrow. I'm made of wicker.
Yeah,
I am a boy.
Yeah, I'm a child. It's horrible. So, but I'm not gonna go and fight anyone competitively. It's me, and he's a comic. My trainer, Diego Lopez, is his name. He's a former MMA guy. And he's a comic now, and he teaches people. And I was like, maybe I'll go do that. And then it was really fun. I got excited about it. And it gets me out of my head for an hour.
So you boys with Rogan now over those?
No, I did Rogan, and I hung out with Rogan before I was doing MMA. I swear to God, these two things have nothing to do with each other. Right. But no, I haven't talked to him about it at all.
He didn't subliminally steer you in that direction over time, or No,
I mean, he's also a Boston guy. He also
that's
does comedy.
True.
So he hopefully he doesn't feel like you're trying to take over.
No, that would be amazing. I would love to take over for him. He's doing extremely well.
Oh, I know. But I'm saying, like, but then he's like, if you want it, you got to come and get it.
Oh yeah, probably wouldn't
just
fare
rip
well.
You apart, yeah.
If I get 10 more years of training and him getting older, I might be able to take it. I'm going to challenge Joe Rogan to a 2029 fight.
I love it.
Go.
Christmas Eve, 2029. I'm going to beat the snot out of Rogan.
Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Well, by point of comparison, you now and then what you will be down the road. I was watching The Last Days of Phil Hartman.
Okay.
They did a little documentary on CNN months ago, and I rewatched it.
Yeah.
And they got to the news radio portion. And I always forget that Rogan was on that show. That's where a lot of people know him from Fear Factor, but I forget he was on. And that was a long time ago, obviously. And he looked so slender and just like a different. And now, obviously, he's like
Right.
You could be that guy then, and then down the road, when you're ready to fight him in 2029, you're like the Hulk.
That could be
I'm
something.
looking forward to that.
Yeah, I don't
have that reach too.
We'll see. I do have reach going for me. That's the only thing I have at all.
Just reach.
Yeah. But I'm pretty ripped up right now.
I was going to say,
I look pretty good.
But do you feel like you are to a point where if you feel like somebody did step out of an alley with ill intent, you could take care of yourself?
I would have at least a knowledge of what to do.
Yeah.
I don't know that I could do it.
Okay.
It probably depends on them too, right?
Now, yeah. Well, also, I mean, my instinct is still to run.
Yeah.
It is self.
And that's
defense.
honestly,
right.
Like, and like you're saying, you have a wife, and if you have to defend her, the best defense is also run.
Right.
Let's both run.
You're more flight than fight at this point.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I would be like, go, honey, and then I would go in opposite direction and hope that he chooses her. That would be my main. That would be my main defense. She's slower. She's got heels.
Yeah, sure. Low to the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're a married guy. I cannot get over these dudes. Were you writing at all for Saturday Night Live? Were you in that orbit at all ever?
No.
You see these guys who are getting these girls. These, like Dave McCary over at SNL is engaged to Emma Stone.
Oh,
Okay?
wow. I didn't even know that.
They've been going out. They get engaged. Colin Jost grabs Scarlett Johansson. Sudeikis meets Olivia Wilde when she goes on that show. All these SNL dudes who you look at and you go, who would even look in their direction, are snaking these hot babes.
Wow, maybe
You got to get in that room somehow.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I think after that Shane Gillis situation, I don't know that I'm right for SNL. There's a lot
gonna
of
dig into your past.
podcasts. Yeah, if you want to check out Tuesdays with Stories, there's a lot of SNL ending stuff in there. But
Wow.
yeah, maybe I should have tried that. But I have a beautiful wife myself, of course.
What does she
a
do?
comedian, too,
She's a
right?
comedian.
Oh,
she's
she is?
here.
Oh, okay.
She's opening for me. You can come see both of us.
Okay.
Sarah,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Sarah Talamash. Yeah, she headlined last night and killed. It was great.
Oh, beautiful.
It was nice. I did like 7 minutes and then left. I didn't want to watch her, but no, I hung out and it was great. But yeah,
So you run when she's on stage and you run when you're being mugged.
Yeah. I don't want anything to do with her.
Congratulations.
We have sex. I just bail. I just take off.
Yeah, he's like, my time's up. I'll get you in the sleeper hold next time. Joe List is at Hilarities tonight. That is a 7 o'clock show, and then 7 and 9:30 tomorrow and Saturday. Joe List Comedy on Twitter and Instagram. Tuesdays with Stories, a very funny podcast with Mark Norman, who had to be, when Seinfeld walked into Three Girls, One Keith, Mark Norman looked like he was on cloud nine.
Yeah,
First he gets
wild.
a name drop from Seinfeld in that Mets game, and
Yes.
you know.
And now he just opened for him at the Beacon Theater. Did 4 shows together.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah, it's pretty wild. It's unbelievable.
There's a girl who works here, and I figure it's a generational thing, but it still a little takes me back a bit because I'm a Seinfeld Uber nerd, right? So I can,
Me too.
Yeah, I can kind of feel where people like Mark and you're coming from with that. We have a girl who's considerably younger than I am, and somebody said, "Oh, she hates Seinfeld," and I go, "Somebody told me that you hate Seinfeld." She goes, "Yeah, I just never ever got it," and I go, "It's probably a generational thing." But there's also a part of my brain that goes, "Well, now I have to reevaluate this person entirely."
Oh, completely.
Which is unfair.
Yeah.
Who is
but
this
I'm
piece
like,
of trash?
I'll tell you in the break. Yeah, but I
No.
was like, I get it. It's even women at the time weren't like dying over Seinfeld, the TV show. So
Right.
it's probably part gender and part generational. But it still takes me. I'm crestfallen when I hear somebody say something like that.
Yeah, I think that they're ignorant, and I feel sad for them.
That's
quite
right.
Frankly,
You'll never amount to anything.
Yeah.
You don't know anything about the world.
no,
Yeah.
I mean it's the best. I mean it's the best show. Our Mark and I's podcast is just completely ripping off Seinfeld, the TV show. And there's all these people. We have all these fans that are young, and they've never even seen Seinfeld. And I'm like, man, you're going to be so bummed when you realize that we're just completely lifting everything we do. I mean, we do our own stuff, obviously. We're saying our own jokes, but we're doing...
They're watching it going, God, this seems familiar. I can't figure out what's going on here, but...
I donated $50 to your Patreon
Oh, wow, I
years
appreciate
ago
that.
because Mark was in town, and we had this it was like this weird night where the Hannibal Buress is in town, and we're all hanging out, and we were gonna go. We're making drunk plans, you know.
Yeah.
And so let's get a bottle from the bar, and then we'll go keep the party going at the hotel.
Oh, I think I remember that.
Yeah. And Mark's like, great. And I'm like, well, I don't have any cash, so I'll pay you back. I'll go to the hotel. I'll meet you there, and I'll pay you back for the bottle. And he's like, okay. And then he gets down to he gets up to his hotel, and everybody's like, nah, we don't want to do it anymore.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And so he's stuck with the bottle that he paid way too much money for because he bought it from the bar. And he's like, damn it, Bill Squire. And so I was like, instead of, he's doing all right, I'll just give you guys $50 for the Patreon instead of giving him, the 50.
I
cash.
appreciate it. Yeah, I got half that money, so I
Yeah.
appreciate
It's
that.
a
I think I
sweet
remember that
$25.
story. Yeah.
In your pocket.
Yeah, he's doing better than all right now. He's doing fine. So no need to donate money to him. But my Venmo is at Joe List Comedy. You can send me some dough.
Yeah.
And,
He's got a comedy wife he's got to keep happy and
I
the whole
know.
thing. He's got to buy new running shoes for the next time they're walking around the city.
It's not
the whole
easy.
bit. Well, it's good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
yeah,
dude.
thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Good to be here.
Joe List is at Hilarities this weekend. You can go to comedianjoelist.com to get everything else. Season 2 of the stand-ups, you can see him in that. That is on Netflix. And find him out there and go see him this weekend. We'll take a break here. 35192 if you want to text for anything.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS.